Yo, what's going on, Latin Wealth family? Welcome to another episode to Wealth Wednesday. Today's going to be a very special episode, actually, very important episode. So, if you are listening to this podcast, continue to listen. But do me a favor afterwards, I would highly suggest that you go and watch this episode on YouTube because this episode is going to be all about AI tools. We're going to be diving into some AI platforms and how we specifically use AI to help us in business, right? I know we talk a lot about AI. We give you stats, numbers, all types of stuff. But we thought it'd be very helpful today if we show you what it looks like for us to use these different platforms. And stay tuned onto the end because I have about 5 or 6 different platforms that we're not going to go too deep into, but I want to suggest for you guys for different areas of your work that you may need it, right? And so the point of this episode is for you to obviously see how we use it. It's going to be hard to cover every single business and use case possible. But what I want you guys to do is be creative and inquisitive in your mind about, okay, he's using it for this specific use. Maybe I can use it for X, Y, and Z, right? So that's what I want to accomplish today with Jeremiah. And also, shout out to Boss Moreno because he's the one that asked the question about, like, yo, different AI tools. You guys know if you ask the question on the platform, we'll either answer it or we'll
Mhm.
make a whole video about it like we're doing today. So I'm excited to jump into this. Jeremiah, how you feeling?
I love it. I love that we get practical information, and actual steps that people can use in their everyday lives to help make them successful. The way that you've become, Chris, I've become right in the things that we're doing in everyday life. I also want people to think about this as you're presenting these different tools and things. Think about it as an investment opportunity as well. Look
Mm-hmm.
into the companies and who the parent companies are. Look into how you can take advantage of these up and coming tools they help with investments as well. Because a lot of people will look at things functionally, as we're going to do today, and practical, but you use them. But the thing is, if you're using it, that means that there's tons of other people that are using it as well. So it's a good investment point. I just wanted to throw that out there for people.
No, that's a great point. And that's going to lead into my next point of look, there is plenty of different tools out there. There's probably hundreds at this point, if not thousands, I would say.
Yeah.
Um, I would say don't feel the pressure to learn every single one and be involved in every single one. You can do some research and learn about each one, but I would say pick one or two that fit the things that you need to accomplish in your business or your everyday life and spend time learning that tool. Before Jeremiah and I hit record, or yesterday when we were talking, we both pretty much agreed that we feel like our people need to be using some type of AI tool every single day, minimum for 30 minutes to an hour at the very least, going in there, playing around with it. There's a voice feature on one of these platforms that I'll use. You can talk into it, you can talk to it essentially. We think you need to be on these platforms minimum 30 minutes to an hour every single day so you're not falling behind of this curve that is about to explode, right? We talk a lot about AI. It is the future, but it is also right now it's here, right? There's some things that we're like, oh, it's gonna happen in 5, 6 years. No, this is here. So I'm saying this because I do not want to see our people fall behind.
You never want to get left behind, and you also don't want to, we never fearmonger. We always just try to present the middle of the road on things. AI is not going anywhere though. That I will say. It's present and it's happening. And it's only going to get deeper and bigger. So, it's not a fad. They said the internet was a fad, Chris.
Yeah. I mean, look, I was young when they would say that, but I heard from plenty of people that they said, the internet wasn't going to be around and it was just going to go away and whatnot. Um, so yeah, very, very interesting. This isn't going to go away. This is here. So, the platform that we're going to jump into today, this is ChatGPT. And so, what I'm going to do right now is first off, this platform can do so many different things. This is out of all the platforms I use, I probably use this 95% of the time for different use cases as generating ideas. I have it read documents, which I'm about to have it do right now. I have it create emails. It can transcribe audio. There's a lot that it can do, right? And so, what I'm going to have it do with me being in the marketing space, um, I also tend to look at different government contract opportunities, which is probably a whole nother podcast that we can definitely hit on. But some of these different government contracts, Jeremiah, some of these documents are like 80, 90, 100 pages long.
Yeah.
Right. And so for me to go through all that on top of cooking, cleaning, recording, it's very time consuming, right? So what we're going to do right now is we're going to upload that specific document. I have it right here. It's the government contract document. Now, this one that I found is only about 39 pages long. It's not too long. I can actually go through that pretty quickly. But what we're going to have it do is we're going to have it analyze the document and we're going to have it pull out specific information that I'm looking for, right? So again, instead of me, and I have some of the prompts already typed out, so I'm going to just copy and paste for the sake of time. So I'm going to go ahead and load this up. And so what I'm having it do is say, analyze this document and let me know the following. Where is the mandatory work location of this contract? What is the scope of work? What are the requirements that should be made known of to bid on this opportunity? All right. There's some other things that I could probably put in there to get extract more information, but this is some basic stuff that we're gonna have ChatGPT do. Now, while this is loading, the reason why this is taking a little bit longer than it usually would is because ChatGPT has a couple different options for you, right? It has a thinking option, which is going to take longer to think and analyze whatever it is that you're asking for better answers. You can get an instant answer. You may not get a quality answer, but it will be instant. And then you can also have it decide on its own what you want it to do, right? And as you can see, there's a pro feature. I don't have the pro feature. I do pay for this one. I think it's only $20 a month. The pro feature I think is about $200 a month. To me,
200, yeah.
this is a this is an easy investment for me. I use this thing like all day, every day, right? So for me in my business, $20 is nothing, right? Especially for something like this, I should say. In addition, as it's still loading, you can add photos, files. There's an agent mode. There's a deep research mode. You can create images. You can study and learn. Some of these platforms and tools, I don't use everything on ChatGPT, but I'm just showing you the capability. In addition, you can connect to Google Drive. If you have OneDrive, if you have SharePoint, if you have these different cloud sharing options or platform, you can connect it to help you find what you need in those cloud services, right? So it's typing out what I requested, and yeah. So just a little bit about this government contract opportunity. This is actually a social media consulting role in El Salvador. So I came across this morning. It's actually going to be something I'm going to bid on. So we're doing some of my work as we're on this call. But here is the, yeah, still typing it out. But as you can see, we can start going through it right now. Quick findings from RFQ. RFQ is request for quote, the U.S. Embassy in San Salvador. And then it says, okay, one of the things I need to know where this work location is, right? And so it's telling me it's an on-site role and it's required. And it tells you the physical location and the address. And then it goes into the scope of work, which I need to know. Now, this is all really good information because if I'm trying to bid on as many of these possible, or if I just got everyday life going on, this is going to give me quick and concise information. Now, what I do want to preference is any of these tools that you use, very, very important that you double check the work, right? Very, very, very important that you double check that the information that it's giving you is correct. And a lot of times I'll take this information, I'll take the scope of work, okay, social media consulting, content development, social media support, and digital properties admin. Cool. This sounds like something I can do. What I'll do is I will on the back end, I'll say, okay, this is something I want to bid on. Look deeper into this contract, make sure this information is correct. and so forth. So it shows you the requirements. It shows us the complete proposal package, what's needed. You need to be registered in SAM. You need to have past performance list for the last 5 years in El Salvador. So these are just different things this opportunity is requesting before you want to bid on this opportunity. So if you guys know, I actually live in Dallas, Texas. So obviously I don't live in El Salvador. So what I can do is I can say, awesome, find me five marketing companies I can reach out to about partnering with about this opportunity. Please provide their contact information and website. So now we're going to take it a step further. And I be making my ChatGPT work. Like he probably sick of me because he doing so much work, like in research and whatnot. It's incredible. So now what I'm having it do is I'm having it essentially find leads for me. All right. So I'm having them find people that I can call up and say, hey, or email and say, is this something you want to partner on? So it's in deep thinking mode right now. So it's doing a little research on specifically who I can reach out to that fulfills the requirement of this contract. But before we go into what it's going to spit out at us, you got anything, Jeremiah? Any thoughts just yet?
No, I think one thing that's blatantly apparent is how important it is to understand prompt engineering. I did a class on that probably almost 2 years ago now, like a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. That is like a skill set that is,
Mm-hmm.
man, so valuable. I think that you notice what ChatGPT is providing you, right? Which is wonderful because it's doing all the work. But the actual prompt engineering, so the prompting is what's, initiating. It's the catalyst to create those type of responses. So I think that's something to be talked about, understanding how to prompt something. Because if you can't express what it is that you want to get back, you're not going to get back the answers that you want.
100%, 100%. And look, my prompting is can be a lot more detailed. I just keep it super simple for what I'm requesting. And most of the time it gets what I need. So yeah, I totally agree with you. Very, very important. A lot of companies are hiring for different roles, specifically for engineers, that people that do it very well. So, and we're just
And
gonna
this is,
continue
and
to
this
look.
is, I love this because what you see in real time is the amount of effort that ChatGPT is putting into actually thinking out, right? It's actually trying to find you a good list, not
Mm-hmm.
just it says choosing a balanced mix.
Yep.
Look at
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So here we go. So and it's gonna take a minute for it to, and look, it even tells you how long it thought for. So just keep in mind, like this took 2 minutes and 6 seconds for me to find. What did I ask? Five quality marketing companies. This would take me a lot longer than 2 minutes. Now, obviously, again, don't forget you want to double check and you want to vet the information because I've used this same prompt and they've gave me companies that don't even have their website's not even working or their phone number's not even working, right? So you definitely want to double check. But here it is. They gave me five different countries or five different companies in El Salvador that I can reach out to that are in the marketing space, right? And then from here, essentially, what I would do is, and actually, it's suggesting it right now. I want me to draft a short bilingual outreach email. You can send these five companies. So I'm just gonna say yes, please do that. And so what it's gonna do is gonna draft me an email in English and Spanish that I can send these different countries, different companies. And look, this is like a cheat code, man. This is a hack. And the thing that we talk about a lot is, what we use ChatGPT for, what we use these different platforms for, is to help us be more efficient and save us time. One of the things in business that I do not like doing at all is typing up emails. For whatever reason, bro, like I'm
Me
telling
too.
you, if
Me
if I
too.
could if I could if it's normal for us to send voice notes in an email, I would do that a million times. I know that's not professional, but um with that being said, I'll have ChatGPT or draft me up an email. So what it's gonna do, it gives us some subject options to put in your subject so you don't have to worry about that. And then it also gives you the body as well, right? The body of the email. It gives you some information about, hey, I'm Christopher Baleso, founder of Elevate Consulting and Marketing, Dallas, what we need locally, the timeline. And again, always double check some of this information, make sure it's structured the way you want it to be structured. And it also gave it to us in Espanol as well. So, yep, it gave us some like company and contacts and some like an intake form. Essentially, it created for us to send to them if they're interested. So, bonus. Oh, they even gave us a WhatsApp message we can send to them. I didn't ask for that, but they created it. So, yo,
Wow, because they
yeah,
understood that contextually people
right.
in
They're gonna use
Central and
WhatsApp.
South America use WhatsApp. That's smart.
Crazy.
That's
That
crazy.
that's the first time I've seen that. That's super dope. Because I know with ChatGPT 4, it would have just gave me the email. That was it. Just that. But with ChatGPT 5, it kind of stepped it up, gave us a quick intake form that we can copy into an email or a Google form, and then it also gave us the WhatsApp message as well. So that's pretty dope. Pretty dope. Any thoughts about this, Jeremiah? I wanted to think probably go into a different platform, but
No, I mean, I
ChatGPT,
think you started off with the top one. I use GPT-5 has been phenomenal. And I can just see the step up from four. It's crazy. Just the amount of level of professionalism and how deep that it goes. I think it was their response to DeepSeek. And they came back extremely strong. So, no, man, GPT-5 is phenomenal. Can't wait to see what they come up with six. I'm sure they're already on seven, but yeah, it's I love it
yeah, 100%. Okay, so this is great. This is phenomenal. And look, we can spend all day like playing
all
around
day.
with it, like having it do a bunch of different stuff. But again, I just wanted to show you guys how we use these platforms, right? How I use these platforms in a practical way. So, in addition to ChatGPT, another platform that I use on the creative side of marketing, this is more focusing on the business side, outreach, trying to find different opportunities. On the creative side, Jeremiah, let me know if you can see this.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
good.
cool. So
See
this is
Riverside.
Riverside. So on the creative side, for my creatives out there, are people that just you don't even got to be creative, just somebody that wants to put out more content online. I like Riverside because it allows you to transcribe audio and video. And so we're going to do that right now. So it has the free feature that you can transcribe audio, and all you have to do is drop a file to transcribe it. So we're going to transcribe last week Latin Wealth episode. And it says, what would you like to transcribe? This is a podcast. I am a human. Start transcribing. It should take about a minute or two. And I'm going to show you how I use transcriptions to help us with posting on YouTube, posting on Instagram, whatever you want to use. I'm going to kind of show you why it's important to grab the transcription. All right. So while this is loading, I'm going to quickly switch to another platform that you can use for transcription, and that is oh, it is Otter Otter.ai. Yep. Boom. Now, while that's loading, we're still talking about transcription here. If you are someone that has a bunch of different meetings and you're somebody that like needs to record the meetings and you need the transcriptions of all the meetings and whatnot, Otter.ai is a platform that you can install on Zoom, on your Google Meets, and it's going to transcribe your meetings for you, right? So it's going to get live transcriptions. It's going to give you automated summaries. It's going to give you action items. It's going to give you the whole nine. So again, if you are whether you're doing a bunch of different interviews and you need to keep track of everything, if you got a bunch of different meetings, if you're trying to go through a list of leads, it's very important to keep track of all of these conversations as much as possible. And so this is a great tool because all you have to do is install it on your video recording platform, such as Zoom. Google Meets, and then it's going to do all the work for you. On the back end, it's going to say, hey, give me about 30 minutes. I'm going to send you the transcript and I'm going to send you the summary, and you can do whatever you want with it, right? And so typically, what you can do is, again, you can use that however you choose. But for me, when I use transcription, we're going to go back to Riverside. It's still loading. Um, but what I'll do is I'll take the transcription to our audio and I'll take it back to ChatGPT and I'll have it do a couple things for us there. So we're gonna give this a second to load. Um,
I was gonna
but
say I
yeah,
just turned off the Fathom before we started, right? Which is the Zoom
yep,
AI
yep,
that does very similar, does the
very
same
similar.
thing. Yeah.
Yep, very similar. Yeah, there's a couple different platforms. Again, like we said in the beginning, there's probably five different, six different, transcription platforms that you can use. You can just look at which one has the best pricing for you, which one has fulfills your needs in the best way possible. It's still loading, so that's fine. What we can do is we'll go into another tool. We're going to come back to Riverside that you can use for anything that's creative related. So if you guys haven't heard of Descript, is another great tool that, look, if you just need one tool as a creative, if you're a video editor or you make videos and whatnot, this may be the tool for you because they just have so many different features. They have video editing, they have the ability to record podcasts in here. You can record, it has a screen recorder, you can create captions, transcriptions on here as well. There's so many different things that you can use. This platform is super popular. If you go to the website and then you go to your Instagram account, you're going to be seeing ads from this platform a whole lot. But what it can also do is it can create clips for you. It does everything. It does a lot for you. Now, personally, I don't use it as much just because I have a team of people that can help me with edits. One thing I will say about when you go to these different platforms and you have them create clips for you for your podcast, your interviews, or whatever, um, it not obviously it doesn't have that human element to it, so it may miss out on some important points or some specific points that you want. So that's why I like to go in there and manually get clips myself. But for captions and all that, man, I remember like captions is an automatic thing now. Like you should have captions on your video. But I remember back in 2018, 2019, you would have to manually go in there, hear every single word that Chris is saying for the next minute and type it out manually. And man, yeah, that was a headache. So it's still loading. I have to give it some time. But what we'll do is, not to for sake of time, we'll go back to ChatGPT and I'll give you an example of what I do. So I have, you can see I have all these different chats for different things that I use them for. But so we'll go to Latin Wealth YouTube description, and theoretically, let's just say that uh, Riverside gave us that transcription. So what I'll do is, I know this is super long, it's because this is a transcription to a whole episode. What I'll do is I'll prompt it to say, hey, create me an SEO friendly YouTube description based on these notes. Please do not use emojis because they will use all types of crazy emojis, and I just don't like that. Also, please create me 8 title options. Also, generate me 12 tags I can use for YouTube and expand on the description. So, all this text here, this is a dialogue between Jeremiah and I on the last episode. And so, all I'll do is I'll just copy it and I'll paste it in here with that prompt. And then it'll take a couple seconds. And what it's going to do is going to shoot me out a description that I can use for YouTube. And then I'll also put in the chapters in there if you want to use that as well. And then I'll also shoot out some different title options. And a lot of times, what I'll do is same thing with the description. And as I've been saying, I double check everything. And even the titles, I may not like any of these titles, but I'll combine maybe one and number five together into one title. It's because I think it's more fitting. And then it's also going to drop you the tags that you can go ahead and copy here and paste it on YouTube. for your video to be searched better. So I use this every like right after we're done recording this. This is exactly my process that I'm gonna use. I'm gonna paste the transcription in here, and I'm gonna say, draft me up a description, give me some ideas for a title, throw me some tags, and I can do the rest.
Again, this may seem like a lot, but Chris broke it down step by step of like practical steps that you can take. The AI is doing the majority of the work. Chris, I think though maybe as a piece of this, because we've walked them through several phenomenal different apps that they can use that can help them to be more efficient. How do they get better at prompt engineering? Because for you, it's something that's natural and it's a skill set that you've created now, being in marketing and things, knowing how to express yourself, I would say phonetically, writing out things, you know how to express yourself. But how do people get better at putting their thoughts into a prompt? Because that's what's going to limit them.
That's good. That's good. So I definitely want to hear your thoughts as well, but this is how I think, right? So if you see this little microphone button right here, you can actually or voice mode, I'm sorry, this mode right here, you can actually talk to ChatGPT. So if you can't type out specifically what you are thinking, I'm that type of person where bump the typing. I'm just gonna talk to you. I would rather call you than text you, right? So maybe that's something that you need to understand. Like, okay, I would rather just talk to it and you have a dialogue with it, and eventually it's gonna get to what I need, right? The second thing I would say is, for the most part, I try to be as direct and as concise as possible, right? So again, back in this prompt, this could be a lot more detailed, but what I had it do is like, hey, do not use emojis, right? Create me an SEO friendly YouTube description based on these notes. Also generate me 12 tags that I can use for YouTube. Expand on the description. The reason why I put the word expand on there is because before it would just draft me like a little short little paragraph. And for SEO purposes, the more text that you have in there related to your subject, the better chance that people are going to be able to search up your video. That makes sense? So again, number one,
Yeah.
if you don't know what to type it, I would suggest speaking to it. Number two, just be as specific as possible. And after you jump in, I'm gonna show an example of why you need to be as specific as possible.
I was just gonna say, obviously, knowing knowing what it is that you're talking about, but
That's
you
true.
know, going and doing, and here's what's crazy. You can actually type in, I'm gonna tell you to do it one step easier. Type into ChatGPT 5, how do I get better at prompt engineering?
There it is.
What can I say? And it'll actually give you the answers of the steps to actually helping you to do better on your prompting, because that's what's most important. Um,
That's
that's
it.
honestly the tip that I was going to give to people because
That's
I
it.
think that you and I in different professional settings, we've accrued those skills and we know kind of how to do that. But I would just say if you don't know, and even if you're talking, because some people talk and they still can't really, right? But it's in their brain. And
True.
so actually just type out, hey, make me better at prompt engineering and just enter that and see what it comes up with. You'd
That's
be
really good.
surprised.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's definitely a tip I would have took at the beginning if I didn't know what I didn't know. So love that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to Sora, which is also a tool within ChatGPT. We're not gonna go too deep into it because I was playing around with it this morning and yesterday. It's still a little buggy. It's just I think this platform just takes a lot of bandwidth to create different videos.
Yeah.
But essentially, what Sora is, and we've reviewed this on this platform, is you can go in here and you can prompt it to create different videos and images, specifically videos. And so, what I did yesterday, just for fun, I just put create me a video of a dog using a computer while eating an apple. Now, in my in my mind, this isn't what I had. This isn't necessarily what I was thinking, but that's why it's important for you to be as specific as possible. So maybe next time I could say, "Hey, create me a video of a dog using the computer, sitting on the stool, um, with something on the screen." Like, just be more specific with it to get what you're looking for, right? And again, this is a super general prompt, just to, you know. get the video out. But and as you see, it's kind of bugging up right now. So I'm gonna get up out of here.
Mhm.
It may be because I needed more storage on my computer. That may be the case. But yeah, these are a couple different tools and platforms. What else? There's another one. This will be the last thing I go over today, and hopefully you guys are finding this helpful. I know this is a lot of information. I'm kind of running through it. But again, number one, don't feel overwhelmed. Pick one or two of these tools and just play around with it. Use it as much as possible. And just focus on 30 minutes to an hour a day with these different tools. This is another tool that came out recently that went pretty viral on the Google AI Studios. This is called Nano Banana, and basically what it can do is it can create images for you. So I'm going to do. Let me see. I think I have the prompt in here. Okay. So again, being as specific as possible with these platforms is going to be your biggest asset, I would say. This says generate me a YouTube thumbnail that I can use for the following video topic. 5 AI tools that you need to use in your business. So let's just run this and give that a minute and see what happens, right? And let's see if it boom, there it is. That was pretty quick. Now, personally, I probably wouldn't use this for YouTube, but if you are in a pinch, if you don't have the resources to create a thumbnail, if you're not creative, maybe you don't have the investment to invest in somebody to create it for you. What's you know, this ain't bad at all. It gets the job done. 5 AI tools for your business. It gives a gentleman on the right. It gives some context on the left. YouTube logo. You can't beat this. It's for what it is, for how quickly it created it. If I were to create this by myself, this would easily take me 30 minutes to an hour to create by myself,
Minimally.
minimum. And that's because I remotely know how to do this. For the person that doesn't, I can take them 2, 3 hours to do. So, what else? I think that's it on my end. There's different platforms like HubSpot has an AI tool set that helps you manage leads. We talked about Otter.ai that helps you with AI note taking. So again, depending on what you need in your business, definitely do a little research on what platforms that can help you out the most. I like ChatGPT a lot. And if you're someone that just wants to learn about AI, I would encourage you to pick one of these tools again and just mess around with it, play with it a little bit, get in there and see what you can create. You never know. You can even go to ChatGPT if you don't have a business and be like, hey, what are the 10 businesses I can start in 2025? Give you some ideas on how to do that and have a conversation with it. Okay, how can I start this landscaping business? What are some tools that I'm going to need? What should I charge? Go from there.
I mean, use the tools to help you think. That's the thing. People think you have to think and then press, put that information into the tool. What I'm trying to get you to see is use the tool to help you think,
Mm,
help to cultivate your thoughts. You may not be at the level where Chris is at, where you could just type in and you know the particulars of the metrics of which you're looking for in an article or audio, but you could ask ChatGPT to give you those metrics. What
mm,
should I be looking for, right, to make my ABC? What should I be doing? And it can actually help you with those steps. So I'm saying if you're like a step behind that, use it to get you to the point to where you can start just typing in your prompts and things like that,
yeah, 100%. And by the way, like, you may not be there yet, but
you can get there.
you can get there. And I was in your place not too long ago, right? And I'm sure there's somebody looking at me that are like, "Yo, you got a long way to go," and that's cool. But I'm gonna continue working on it every single day and continue to improve and just continue to learn. That's it. That's all we are suggesting on this episode. But as we conclude and wrap this up, Jeremiah, do you have anything else? Hopefully, you guys found some value on this episode. This is specifically for our people to encourage our people, to empower our people to get in there, use these tools. Don't get left behind. Um, Anything else, Jeremiah?
No, I was just gonna say, pick out maybe one or two of these that we showed you, and if you have deeper questions that you want to know on one of those or two of those, just type them in the comments below, so we can answer you. We're very active, obviously, and anything that has to do with the show, we're always trying to answer your comments or the questions. So maybe you want a little bit, maybe they want your help, and that's cool. Just type it up and get you those answers back.
100%. The Latin Wealth family. We'll catch you in the next one.